welcome to Horror Movies and Shit. I'm your host, Jim, and with me as always is...
Bork.
How are you, Mark?
I'm good.
You haven't pulled that Bork card out in a while.
That's what she said.
So, Mark, we have a special guest with us today. Do you want to introduce our special guest?
We do. We have cosmic horror author Edmund Stone.
I don't have any applause, Edmund, but hi, how are you?
The next H.P. Lovecraft, I've been told.
I'm sorry, what did...
I wouldn't exactly call myself a cosmic horror author, but I do some cosmic horror. How about
that? Right. We're going to talk about one of them today, right?
Yes.
Which I'm excited about. So, you have...
So, Jim,
sorry, Mark, go ahead.
Jim, before we give Edmund the third degree,
okay,
I just want to tell you about what happened today.
Mm-mm.
So,
yes,
my stepdaughter went to her first horror convention with us.
How did she like it?
She really, really enjoyed it, but then was complaining that her feet hurt. Yes, that's going to happen, especially if you're wearing weird kind of like goth shoes or whatever.
Right.
But I did manage to meet a bunch of people.
Did you? Like who?
So I met Suzanne Snyder, first of all. Do you know who she is?
The name is familiar to me.
She is an
Wait. Hey, hang on. Edmund, do you know Suzanne Snyder?
I do not.
That's okay, that makes two of us.
So she was in Night of the Creeps, Return of the Living Dead 2.
Oh, she's the blonde, yeah, right?
Yeah. And she was super sweet.
Nice.
Really, really nice. And she's one of the few that are still doing, hey, you pay $40 for an autograph and we can take a selfie for free.
That's awesome.
That is. The other person that I met was Rick Hurst.
Rick Hurst. I don't know that name. Edmund, familiar?
No, I mean, you won't, because he's probably best known for General Hospital, of all things. But
my mother was obsessed with that show in the 80s.
Then she might know.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma was all Days of Our Lives. So.
Yeah. My great-grandmother was, too.
But no, he was also in Frank Henenlotter's best movie, in my opinion, which is Brain Damage in the 1980s. And again, he was another one. Just take the selfie for free, and he was super nice and
awesome.
Everything else. Sean S. Cunningham.
Never heard of him. Who's that?
Oh, shut up. So he was real nice too. He's even shorter than me, Jim, if you can believe it.
I can't believe it because you're like 3 feet tall.
I know, right? But again, he was super nice. Adrienne Barbeau.
Did you actually meet her?
Yes.
Were you as excited as I was when I met Dee Wallace?
A little bit more, actually, because I think like with The Fog and Creepshow and Escape from New York, probably a bit more of a fanboy for her than Dee Wallace, although Dee Wallace is awesome too. So I can't really say anything bad about that. I also met Wayne Knight.
Newman. Who?
Newman.
Oh, that's his real name? I did not know that. Okay.
Yes. But I got him signed like a Jurassic Park thing.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that is my favorite role he's ever done.
Oh, yeah.
So my stepdaughter, she's a big fan of Scream. So we met Matthew Lillard.
Nice.
Who was always like the most nice guy, right? I haven't met him before, but I've seen him in conventions before.
Yep.
He's kind of like the Robert Englund, right? So he just sits there and talks and chats. Super nice. And also Skeet Ulrich.
Nice.
Okay.
Who, again, he's way too handsome to be real. So, but he was super nice too. And the last, I was going to meet Casper Van Dien. If you know.
Really? I do.
But when we were leaving, again, my stepdaughter was like, "Oh, my feet are sore." So okay, and he wasn't at his table. So I met Jane J. Janice.
You got me.
And Rebecca from the Dead Meat YouTube channel.
Okay.
And they were nice.
Nice.
So I actually met a whole bunch of people. So
sounds like it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because normally you're very reserved, and you pick and choose very specific people to meet.
So I'm usually very cheap, Jim. I think that's the word you're looking for. But I just filed my tax return, so I'm getting some money back. So I'm like, screw it.
Yeah, but you need a new roof.
That's the separate huge, Jim. That's separate. So that was my little story for today. But
Okay, well, enough about you. Let's talk about the important people in the room, shall we?
yes.
So, Edmund, first of all, I want to start off by talking about some good news you got today.
Okay.
So there is a Facebook group, Mark, if you're not aware, called Books of Horror. And this is, I believe, the second year they've done the Indie Horror Brawl.
Mm-hmm.
And over the weekend, they narrowed it down from over 400 books to 32. And our friend, Mr. Edmund Stone, has made it into the 32.
Wow.
I'm one of them.
Awesome.
You are.
So
How does that make you feel?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wait a minute. Do it again. Okay. Yeah. Feel great.
That's fantastic.
And so, Edmund, what's the process for that? Is that just like people voting, or is it like judges that go through it, or?
It's a reader vote. It's all 100% reader vote. And what they do now, we have there's a moderator that set it all up and set the polls up and tell the readers this is who here this is who's up and you can vote for them and that kind of thing. They all have 32 votes for each round and category. And what they did is they started with over 400 books, and 4 rounds, and they narrowed each round down to I think it was 32 in each round.
Yep.
And they went to a elimination round, which had all like 128 books or something like that all together, and then they narrowed that down to 32. So that last like 10 or 15, it was so intense.
So Mark, what you don't know, right, is that there was a little bit of a feud going on before voting began.
Oh.
There was a 3-way feud going on. I tried to get all 3 people on at the same time. We couldn't work that out. But we had Mr. Stone here and Mike Salt and Asia Guerrero talking smack to each other across social media platforms. It was quite entertaining, if I can say so myself.
Oh my!
But it's all in good fun.
So this is like more contentious than the upcoming election, Jim. Is that what you're telling me?
Not quite, no. It's all in good fun.
But Eben, that's a really great achievement. 400 down to the 32. So if you actually win it, what do you get?
Well, you get a nice little plaque, or like Nick Roberts got one.
Yep.
Roberts did. And just a lot of bragging rights, really.
Right.
And then also, I think he got a like an article in or what was it? Was it Cemetery Dance magazine? I think it was, or Fangoria or something like that. Anyway, he was in that mag. I think it was Cemetery Dance.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's so that's part of it too. But it's more just bragging rights, I mean, and I mean, everybody, like, you're the winner, so it's going to really boost your books up and everything.
So we promise if you win, you have to come back on and just brag, just for like half an hour, just say how much better you are than everyone else, how scarier a writer you are, and how much more erudite you are, right, Jim?
Yeah, but I
listen.
Tough competition.
Edmund was probably the nicest guy when it came to that. Like, he did a few of the Smack Talk videos, but then he just started popping his book, and he was, I believe in my book. It was all inspirational. It was great.
I appreciate that. And that's another thing I do want to talk about that. I started that as more of a way to motivate myself. I just be like, I believe in my book. Please, my book is I've tried. This book means a lot to me, and I really believe that it has a chance, even though there were times when I didn't think it did. That was what it started at. But then I started putting that on, like, how Messenger has the little bubble and all that. I started putting that on there, and I started putting it everywhere. And the next thing you know, I have people who are messaging me saying, "Oh man, I thank you so much. It just gives me an extra little boost." And authors who were trying to get in the brawl, and they were saying it, and it was a boost to me and a boost to others, and I'm telling you what, that made me feel great. So definitely going to try to continue that on, continue that spirit on. I definitely want to do that.
So we should mention that the book we're talking about is Tent Revival. That's the one that made it into the top 32, right?
Yes, that's the one.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Tell me about the Rebecca mythos. This is book one. Is this a trilogy, a duology? What is it?
It is a trilogy.
Okay.
It's actually, it's 3 books, and the last one is kind of the last one out of all of them is probably more than the rest of them, because it's actually space and everything. So what it starts as, the Rebecca mythos is one of the main characters in the book is named Rebecca, and she's like the evil entity that comes from underground, and she's in the town, lying dormant until she's ready to come forth, and then her plan, her plan and the rest of her generals that she has in there, they are to bring the souls of the town in so that she can feed off of them, so that she can live forever. And that's her whole thing. Well, the cosmic part of it comes from the fact that Rebecca, which I reveal later, she is an old, more or less an old god, and comes from way back. And this cycle of dying and redemption has gone on for millennia, and so she is part of that mythos of what she's become. So she is like a myth and a like a magic cosmic thing unto herself. So, but that's where the mythos comes from. I was going series in the original, and then I got thinking, this is actually cosmic horror. It's really more of a mythos. I think that would work better for what I'm trying to accomplish. So that's
almost like a phoenix, right?
There you go. Very, very much like that.
I'll be honest, based on your description, it reminds me a lot of a Brian Lumley book that I read once called The Burrowers.
Oh, okay.
Because you said that she lived underground under this town, right? So that's immediately what came to mind, because it's one of the only. I'll be perfectly honest. I'm not a big cosmic horror person generally. Mark, you had a question?
I do. So prior to Edmund coming on, you and I were just having a quick little chat, right? Mm-hmm. About like kind of cosmic horror and things, and then we're like, oh, there's a lot of apocalyptic talk about like the eclipse and stuff, because that's what people think, I guess. But also, while I was talking to you, what did you do, Jim?
I glitched.
No.
I don't know. What do you mean? What did I do?
You burst your stress ball.
I did. I have a little stress ball that I got at a conference for work.
Wow.
I don't even know how that's possible.
Because it's just a little piece of plastic film around a bunch of small, like, Orbeez balls.
Yeah.
So these are portents of the apocalypse.
Right.
That's what we're thinking.
Yep. Yeah. What do you think, being the cosmic horror expert? You think we're in for an apocalypse?
To me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, Mayan calendar and all that. I mean, I've got ideas. If it doesn't happen, like if there's no like big apocalypse here, there will be in my mind. So there you go.
Okay. So let's think about this. 2012, right? Remember that movie, all based on the Mayan thing?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Times 2 is 24.
Mm-hmm.
Numerology, we're getting there. Stress ball burst, eclipse. Edmund's on our podcast. He just made it into the final 32. Are these all signs or no?
What does 32 have to do with 24?
32 and 24 are both even numbers, Jim.
Okay.
And if you take 24 and 32 and minus, it's 12.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Now we are. Can you break that down to 4 for me, Mark?
Yeah, just divide it by the number of people on this podcast.
We are the harbingers, apparently.
We are the horsemen of doom.
There's supposed to be 4 of us, Mark, not 3.
Well, no, but whenever you divide it by 3, and then it's divided by 4, then it leaves 3. I don't know.
Then we're not the horsemen.
I feel I could be good at this. well,
Yeah, but your theory falls
for
apart when
the
it stands up to rationale, right?
yeah, I mean, okay.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
So,
or
enough of this bullshit. Sorry, Edmund.
It's
So let's talk about your other book, Within.
Oh, okay.
You've done some interesting things with that, right? You have a sequel to one of those stories. It's a three-parter, right?
Yes. We'll say I'll find it here in a minute, and I will show it to you. I mean, I got to take the bookmark out that I left. There it is.
Closer in front of your face.
the other way.
There you go. Keep coming to the right. There we go.
Oh, cool.
Now we see it.
There it is.
Yeah.
With a three-part horror. That one, yes, I have done some interesting things with that one. Now, that is not cosmic horror, but there is... hey, I love it. But it's... there's the logo. But it's a little bit of... it's got... I mean, one of the... It's a three-story book, you know. It's
right.
But three fairly long short stories. And first one is like a slasher, psychological serial killer kind of story with a twist. And it's got very twist in it. Everybody comments on that. The second is the first is called Within, and the second is Hurt. And the second one is based on a witch named Harper Lansing. And she's got the power of transference, where she can hurt herself and transfer it on other people.
Oh.
But the whole thing is there's an underlying theme of mental illness and how mental illness helps to make us stronger and make the power of the witch stronger.
Okay.
So she's got to fight battle a whole bunch of people in her family who are witch hunters. So they're all after her. So that brings in, that sets up an interesting character, and she has a lot of loss and destruction in her family. Then we get into a sequel I ran off of that called Punish. And Punish is just her continuing story. Well, then the third story of the book in Within is called The Devil's Concubine. Well, The Devil's Concubine is about a girl named Katie Sanchez who has a magical machete named Delilah. And you find out later, that she is actually the daughter or half daughter of the devil himself.
Okay.
So she becomes she becomes stronger through that machete. Another mental health theme. She has attention deficit disorder, so her mental health theme works with that too, and she becomes stronger through herself and the use of her machete to help her get through to battle the evil that's in her family. Okay. So then we go from there to the sequel to that one called Delilah, and the name of the machete is Delilah. So that's named Delilah. But anyway, I went from Within. I did those two sequels, and then decided that it should, since the two sequels actually have a connection too, that I should make it a series. So I made it the Within series.
Oh, nice.
Recognizable that way. But it's interesting. When I started with the sequel to Hurt and sequel to Devil's Concubine, people were thinking that Hurt and the Devil's Concubine were their own books, and I tried to explain that they weren't. So that's when I started the series. I thought that'd be a little easier to put that all together.
Gotcha. So how did you start writing?
Oh, wow. I mean, I've always kind of been a writer for years. I wrote, when I was even in high school, I was into horror, wrote a lot of different stories, poetry, just different things. Kind of put it all to the side for a while as my, and I had small children and everything, got out of college. But at some point I always knew I wanted to get back to it. That was just always my thing. I had to get back to it someday. Messed around here and there, but didn't really do anything with it. Around 2016, which is a very strange thing because this guy named Bob, and I know you have never heard of this guy, but his name is Bob. I am an occupational therapy assistant by day. That's what I do. So this guy was giving me therapy. His name was Bob. He tells me that he was writing, and I was like, really? I said, well, what did you write? He told me it was kind of like folk kind of horror mystery kind of stuff. And he gave me some advice. Well, at first I asked him, I said, always wanted to be a writer, Bob. And how do you do it? How do you go about that? I mean, how would you be a writer? He said, just do it. And I'm like, well, what do you mean, Bob? Just sit down and write. And so he gave me that idea, and but that's where that came from. And then I said, 2016, if I'm going to do this, I need to do this. Found a group, went from there. Started doing short stories, went from short stories to novels.
And which do you prefer? Because everybody that I've talked to says short stories are harder to write than a full-length novel.
Absolutely. In my opinion, they are. The novel is like, the novel is like a bunch of short stories. So you kind of, you're not held back by certain restraints on word count and things like that. You're not trying to cram your whole entire plot synopsis and theme into one little tiny spot with the novel. The novel, you just go and you can just write. Before you know it, you've got 60, 70,000 words, and then comes the fun part of going back and trying to piece it all together and make it work. But I think that's the best part of the novel writing to me. It's just no restraints. Just go wide. Just go wild on it, and that's kind of wild.
So the question, Edmund, I always ask authors that come on here is about kind of the thought process behind it. Do you start with like an overall idea or like a plot? But you do like the beginning, middle, and end, and then you put characters in there. No,
not really.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's an idea. I always just come up with an idea, and if it sometimes it's an idea that I sit down and start writing, and I have to get it out no matter what. Sometimes it's an idea that has to marinate for a while. So I'll like put the idea out, and I'll just every once in a while go back and add a little to it, and then it becomes something. So it all depends on the story and how that starts. But what I typically do, if it's an idea where I have to sit down and I have to get writing, I'll start on that, and then I'll start finding characters. I just start adding characters that I think would be right for this, but then let the story dictate what the characters want to do. And then once the story gets rolling and the characters start doing their thing, sometimes other characters pop in. Might be somebody who, like they're talking to one character, the main character's talking to somebody, and that person, comes up and says something. And I'm thinking, well, they said this, so maybe they need to go this direction. That might be a whole new character, might be a whole new thing. So typically that's the way I do it. I'm a 100% pantser. I'm definitely not an outliner. So I pretty much write the story as it goes along and then kind of plot it out as I move forward.
Do you go, like, as it progresses, do you go back sometimes and change something? So because you like something towards the middle, but it doesn't make much sense now with like something prior to it. Do you go back and like re-edit stuff? And
yeah, I mean, I sort of do. I really don't do any editing. I don't edit as I go. I definitely don't do that. But sometimes I might like get down in a chapter and think, well, like you said, it doesn't make much sense. So maybe I need to go up and add a little section like in between chapters to give it a little more explanation. Now, I have done things like that before. But most of the time it just goes straight through. I mean, I just do chapter after chapter after chapter and then go back and start, fixing it and, tweaking it and doing the things I need to do. The one I'm working on now, it's crazy enough. I had planned to go in on that one and do do it as a young adult. Well, it started going wild. It didn't really work as a young adult book. It does have some young adult characters in it, but it didn't really work overall as a young adult book. So I started going back to change that, and I pretty much, that's one that I'm kind of throwing chapters out and starting over and doing things like that. So that one's going to be a tough novel, but I think I can get it done hopefully in the next month or two. I had to put it to the side while I worked on Delilah. That kind of got in the way a little bit, but no big deal.
Has it always been horror for you?
No, not really. It has, because like before I tried to write, like when I first started getting back into writing, I tried to write fantasy a little bit, and it really didn't click for me. I was trying to be too, I don't know what's a better word for it, but just kind of wishy-washy, just like not really stepping up to the plate and putting everything into it, just kind of trying to put a lot of, dictate a lot of things on it and try to say, well, I can't write that because I don't have enough confidence to write that, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. And that was when I tried to do that, and those restraints came out. It just wasn't true at all. Then a friend of mine told me I should try to write a little. Well, he asked me. He said, do you always write fantasy? Because he was noticing it too. He was like, that doesn't really sound right. Something's wrong there, He said, have you ever tried writing horror? And I said, yeah, horror is what I started with. Like back in when I was in high school and stuff and college, I wrote a lot of horror and watched a lot and read a lot. He said, give it a shot. And so I did. And the very first story I put out, it's like I said, it was a reader's truth is what it was then. And I would put the story out and let people, kind of like Wattpad, where people would look at it and tell you what they thought and give you opinions and things. And I did that, and I started getting really good, feedback. And everybody was like, oh, no, I love that. I love what you're doing with this character. And that was intense. And, I always got that. So I knew right there immediately that this was where I needed to go. Had to be horror because it just works so much better for me.
Right. And that's fair. I could never write because I don't have enough confidence to write. Like I could never put something that I worked that hard on out there. So I have so much respect for anybody that's willing to do that. Like that, you essentially bury your soul with every work that you put out there because so much goes into it that I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
It's not. I mean, you hear people talk about reviews, things like that. That was probably the hardest thing I ever had to deal with was a 1 or 2 star review I got. And they pretty much they just mopped the floor with my story, and I was like, and so many people told me, you're going to get a bad review. You're going to get a few. Don't worry about it. It's what it is. It's just part of the process. But it hurt. It was hard. I mean, I got over it. And at first I thought, oh yeah, it's no big deal. Let's go on. But I found myself going back to it and, realizing that, wait a minute, what if I did something wrong? Maybe if I changed this or changed that. And then I got thinking, I said, stop it. You're second guessing yourself. Don't do that. Right. So it was
I think it's subjective though, but I think always that there can be some sort of constructive criticism in anything like, movies, books, games, whatever. But just like Jim, I could never write anything because it's not the other people reviewing it. It's me reading it back again and thinking it's horrible and just never going through with it. So I feel if I ever publish something, nobody can say anything worse than what I already think about what I already wrote. So,
definitely
I still give myself to that with my own self-doubt.
That's very true. So is Delilah out yet?
Yes, Delilah's out.
So when can we expect book 2 for Rebecca?
Oh, well, there is a book 2 already. Hang on.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. There's 3 to the whole series.
Well, no, I just didn't know that book 2 was out yet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been out for a long time.
Jesus, I'm so far behind.
A lot of people are. Revival was, I actually released it at first in 2021. And
okay.
The subsequent 2 were after that. So I had the one that was released in 2022. And then later that year, I released Lost Hope.
Okay.
Lost Hope was actually a book that was already written as a novella and was released prior to Tent Revival. But there are what I did with that one was after the first version of it, there were little Easter eggs in there about Tent Revival because I had Tent Revival at the time. So, but then when I went back to, I went through a thing with the publisher and I got my rights back and everything, and it was just a big mess, that one was. But I took that book and put it to the side. And then as I started writing Tent Revival and then the one, which is the second book to it, then I found those little Easter eggs made more sense to make them into a third book and just kind of the series out there. And so that's what I did. And
nice.
Lost Hope ends up being the third one. Plus, I added a whole prologue of more or less an origin story of Rebecca and everything in there.
Oh, nice! I'm gonna have to look those up now. I'm gonna write that down right now.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news,
What's that?
but because we've been talking about all these signs of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
So my one of my dogs that we adopted from the shelter, they called her Delilah.
Oh my.
Is that Layla?
It's Rhea. We changed her name to Rhea.
Oh, Rhea. Okay.
Rhea.
Yeah.
Rio?
Rhea.
Rhea.
Oh, Rhea.
Like
Yeah.
Rhea Roman.
Oh my. Oh my God. You guys aren't going to believe this. You're talking about. Wow. My mom's Rhea.
Mark, you just insulted the man's mother.
No, you didn't. No.
No, there's a lot of coincidences going on right now, which is
What I'm thinking.
which, you know.
Yes, there are.
What is happening here?
This is the countdown. This is the countdown to all things that are going to happen tomorrow. I take over that giant project at work tomorrow. There's the eclipse. We are screwed.
Well, you know, it's been nice talking with you, Edmund. Anyway, for everyone else's final podcast. I for one, I'm looking forward to our Elder God Masters.
Yes, all hail Dave, right, Mark?
Fuck Dave.
There's a running joke on Facebook. I don't even know where it came from, or I don't think I fully understand it, but I say hail Dave just to piss off Mark.
No, because I came up with like an idea. It's kind of like there's certain very smart people that think we are actually living in a simulation, right?
Hmm.
So I came up with Eugene, who is our programmer. So he's like the deity, and then this guy that he works with called Dave, he just like fucks with him. So fuck Dave. He's like the Satan to the Eugene.
So just to piss Mark off, I hail Dave.
Any one of your books, I don't need any royalties at this point. Just a shout out would be good.
Mark, are you jealous? I think Mark's a little jealous because he just found out that I'm actually going to be in actually, you don't know yet, Mark, but our friend Carlos Rivera is going to be killing me off in his upcoming book, Blackout, or no, not Blackout.
Don't blame him. I might start writing.
Yeah, I'm going to be killed off in tribute to one of his gods in his trilogy of books. I'm excited. I'm very excited. I can't wait to see what he does.
Are you sure he didn't mean dogs?
Yes, I'm positive.
Yeah.
I think it's called A Hole in the Ground or A Hole in the World. I don't remember the title that he's using, but I'm very excited.
You're like a hole in my head, Jim, sometimes.
Yes, that's true.
I know. You're liable. You might be hearing in the background. You might be hearing a dog barking. That's my little dog going crazy in there. So I don't know what he wants.
He sounds like my dog Peanut, but she's asleep in the bed. So
Yeah.
We're dog lovers. So here's the thing, right? So here's how to check if somebody's a psycho or not, right? So if they have a dog,
oh, here we go.
and they leave the house and they don't turn around and say goodbye to the dog, they're probably some sort of psychopath, right? Everybody does it.
I don't.
Okay, well that that
Just say goodbye as I leave the house. I don't turn around and say goodbye.
Oh, you know. Oh, okay.
I'm efficient.
What's that?
Cool.
I thought this was going to be so. Edmund, I went over to visit Mark when I went to Tampa for an event, and we stopped by his house, and his dog did not like me.
Oh,
She was not crazy about me at all.
She senses evil.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's the way you're doing that. You're really doing that.
So Edmund,
And then
Mark.
our roof collapsed, basically.
Yeah. Right afterwards. Yep.
Yeah. Signs of the apocalypse.
Uh-huh.
That's what it is. That's what
So,
it is.
Edmund, why don't you tell people where they can follow you or how they can find you so they can get a hold of your books?
Okay. I will give there's a link tree that I have, which is probably the easiest way to find me.
Okay.
But I had somebody today saying they had a hard time getting through to one of my books. I don't know what's happening. The whole thing's kind of going down. Signs of the Apocalypse again.
Yeah.
If you go to it's a tree with the little backslash keys. Then after that, it's edmundstoneauthor.com. And
Okay.
the link tree that, and it'll go, and that what comes up, or it comes up to all of my like where all my socials are, all that stuff. Because I'm on Facebook and Insta and TikTok and everything.
I'll make sure we link that in the episode too. I'll put it on both YouTube and on the in the feed.
Okay. I also have a QR code if you need it. I can send that to you if you need
Sure.
it.
I'll put up whatever you got. I do have to say, you probably have one of the coolest logos. I love these. The only other thing I will say is that invitation card that you sent out with your book, which this is the QR code you're talking about, right? This is freaking awesome. I loved it. I thought that was great.
Now that is I'll take I'll have to give a shout out to the artist that did that. Her name is Taylor Gibbs, and she has a website. And oh my God, I told myself not to know where that is, but she has a website and everything. But Taylor Gibbs, if you find her, you could look her up on Facebook and you'll find her. But she does fantastic artwork. That's one she did for me. That was a Valentine's Day card promo we did. I'll show you another one, which I'm going to be showing these at AuthorCon. You can see that.
There you go.
Okay. And then if you look back, it's a postcard.
Oh, how cool! I like that. That's neat.
Best wishes from Salt Flat, Kentucky, which is the town in it. And we got another one. Welcome to Salt Flat, and it has
that I like.
See, it has the tent revival thing.
Yeah, see that. That's awesome.
And then if you look on the back, it's also a postcard.
That's pretty great.
Oof, let me get a little closer there to y'all. See it? See that logo? That's part of my logo too.
Oh, I like that. That's beautiful. Did Taylor do that one also?
She did. The original piece was something I had and I gave to her, and then she added the logo and trimmed up the sides of it and fixed it up and made it look prettier.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and then I've got a banner with that and everything on it. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
A lot of people asking me, "Hey, when you gonna do a T-shirt?" I said, "Soon." I don't know.
Well, don't count on Mark as a customer. I can't even get him to order a T-shirt from the podcast.
Well, I don't even listen to the podcast.
I know you don't.
I got better things to do with my time.
So, Mark, do you have any other questions before we talk about our topic? Our other topic?
No, I mean, I think, Edmund, thanks so much for coming on. Again, the Tent Revivals seems really good. I'll have to look it up. I am so behind in books and reading and audiobooks and everything else, but I always have one question.
What's it?
The author that comes on.
Mm-hmm.
So pick your favorite story that you've written. Have you in your head figured out who are the actors going to be in the movie and who's going to direct it?
I should have known that was coming. I did have some thought about with that one. I thought Tent Revival, and let me think who I put for the original. Oh my gosh, this is like killing me. I thought maybe Cy Sutton. The first one that came to it was crazy, and you're gonna think this is crazy. The first one kind of came to mind was maybe oh god, guy from American Horror Story and everything. I'll think of him here in a minute.
Are you talking about Evan Peters?
Dylan McDermott, I think's his name.
Dylan McDermott.
Yes.
God, I love Dylan McDermott. He's fantastic.
Yes, and I was thinking Evan Peter for Alan, his son, which I thought that would be that mix there. Evan Peter. I love Evan Peter. So that would be a good one for them. Rhonda, oh gosh. I had to think about that one. She's a redhead, so you go different ways with it.
Jessica Chastain.
Yeah, maybe that would be a good one. That would be a good one. Or the girl from she was from that might be her. She was from True Blood, and she was also in Daredevil. What was her name?
Oh, I'm Nicole. No, it's a different person. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, me too. I know the face, but I can't think of the name.
Yeah, I think she was a good fit for Rhonda, definitely. Because she got a little spunk to her, so I think that would be a good one.
Yeah.
And Rebecca, oh yeah, there's the one.
Deborah Ann Wall, sorry.
That's her, yes.
Oh, okay.
Jessica, yep.
Rebecca would have to be someone who is like, you know, she's kind of I describe her as like an Egyptian kind of look. So she's dark complected, dark hair, and all that kind of stuff. So and kind of and shapely. So I would have to think like maybe my Kim Kardashian shape, but I know Kim Kardashian wouldn't play that character well. So
you might want to get an actor.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm thinking. So I'd have to think about that one, but I would definitely want to put. That's the description I would look for.
Like maybe Eva Longoria or somebody like that.
Now you're talking. Yeah, just kind of.
Yeah.
That would be. But that
I would be the casting director on the movie, or the casting agent.
Okay. But then we have up with a character for Sage, and Sage is like, oh wow, yeah, he's like the the debonair with the top hat and old gentleman, but also the ladies just swoon over him. And
that's easy. You got Matt Boomer. He could pull off that look, no problem.
There you go.
Daniel Craig.
No.
Yeah. I like Daniel Craig would work. Definitely.
So if you want to hire me, you know where I'm at.
Yeah, you don't want to do that because you'll wind up with so many lawsuits.
I'm sure whoever takes over will just go with it, and they'll come to me and they'll say, "Hey, we're going to cast this one, this one, this one." I'm going to be like, "Perfect, thank you."
They'll be able to do it better than me.
Go on.
So who's the director?
Oh, I would say M. Night, but the only problem with M. Night is Paul Tremblay. He took his name right off of the movie, so I don't know if M. Night. I would hope like somebody from Blumhouse would do it or something like that. Maybe.
James Wan.
Huh? Yeah.
Wan.
That would work. I could live with that.
Yeah.
I could live with.
Carpenter comes out of retirement.
That would work too.
I mean, he did say he's a whore for money, right?
I mean, even Rob Zombie. I mean, he'd take it some odd direction. Okay.
You just offended Jim now.
You just lost me. Sorry. I know it's not a popular opinion. I love his music. I do not like his movies.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Well, hang on, Jim. Apart from the Munsters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Munsters.
Yeah, you love the Munsters, remember?
No, I did not. If you remember correctly, Mark, I threatened to walk out of my house because I came home and somebody was watching it.
I might have to agree with you. That was pretty.
Yeah, I was not. And so it's not even so much his movies. It's the fact that he cast his wife and everything, and I don't like her as an actress.
What? Jim.
Yes.
What?
What? Yes.
I mean, she should have had probably 20 Oscars by now.
At least.
Okay, guys, I have to go. Sorry.
And had Will Smith slapping somebody for her. I mean, it would have worked for her.
I will say I really liked House of a Thousand Corpses. I thought it was really well done. And she wasn't in much of it to annoy me.
No, well, there you go.
But, so that one was okay. The rest of them, no. It's like a rich man trying to play white trash, and it just doesn't hit right with me.
Oh, I see that.
So Jim, you know white trash, right?
I do. I grew up white trash, I say. I say that to everybody. But, yes.
You grew up it.
I don't doubt it.
Florida man.
That's right. I'm the reason for Florida man.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not quite that bad.
Edmund, whereabouts in the country are you? Where do you live?
I'm in a little town in eastern Kentucky by the name of Garrison, and it's right on the Ohio River.
Nice.
So I'm probably about 100 miles east of Cincinnati, sorry, in that area.
Do you get the tornadoes? We just get the hurricanes.
Yeah, we get the definitely.
Did you just go like mountain climbing or something out to Arizona? Didn't I see pictures? Yep, I saw pictures that you posted on Facebook. That looked like a beautiful trip.
Oh gosh, it was so good, so nice. That first time I'd ever been that far west, even.
Yeah.
But we went into we stayed in the Sedona area, and oh my gosh, it was so beautiful, so nice. And just they talk about the energy of the place, and you feel it. I mean, you go there. Probably the reason I was able to climb that mountain, even I just had that like burst.
I mean, you even hit that yoga pose in that one picture.
Oh yeah, did that.
Edmund, have you ever gone mountain climbing in Florida?
Never.
Because there is no mountains.
Imagine.
I've
Yeah.
been to Florida a few times too, and never climbed a mountain.
No.
Florida, but never with a mountain.
Right.
Magic Mountain, maybe.
Something like that.
So, Mark, we decided to cover a topic that we haven't covered before.
Mm-hmm.
We've never had this conversation. This is a first. All these coincidences, and this is a first for us.
Well, first is 1. 1 plus 3 equals 4, remember?
Man,
So think about that for a minute.
Apocalypse, yeah.
4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
But there's only 3.
No, but now it's the first, so it's 1. 1 plus 3.
Mark, you're really stretching with this shit.
I'm no more loony than half the people on this planet, so.
Yeah. Well, that's for another podcast, Mark.
Well, yeah. Or my therapist.
Well, you are my therapist, so you know.
Well, yes. And we have to talk about your mom coming on, too.
We do, but let's not get into the weeds. So, in honor of Tent Revival, Edmund, we have decided we're going to discuss some cosmic horror movies.
Okay.
And Mark, having the encyclopedic knowledge of everybody, he gathers everything. He has made a list for us to discuss.
Boy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, here's Jim. So, counterpoint. Is cosmic horror. But can you please explain to our audience, our layman audience?
I actually heard a good description of it today, and I don't remember where I heard it from.
It's from Google, Jim. While you were
No, it was from, I think it was from Carlos Rivera posted a video about it, and he said cosmic horror is designed to make you feel inconsequential. It's where humanity realizes it doesn't matter.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Actually,
so I like that definition.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be aliens. It doesn't have to be gods. It's anything that brings about that realization.
But the funny thing is, that's reality, right?
Yeah.
We don't matter.
Well, we don't, but our ego doesn't allow us to believe that all the time, does it?
We don't have a big ego like you, Jim. Not everyone has a big ego like you. But I think it has to be something, like, to me, like, thinking about it, obviously you go to Lovecraft, right? Lovecraft is kind of like the poster child of, not every story he wrote was cosmic horror either, but it's about these big entities, right?
Right.
It's like we're ants, and the elder gods are these things are so developed above us that they walk around and they stand on us, and it's like we can't comprehend what's going on, and if we try to, we go mad, Jim.
Yes, we do.
So
we all go a little mad sometimes, Mark.
So yeah, I mean, again, I just kind of like threw some ideas down, and Edmund, you can be the arbiter of the cosmic horror, yes or no. And so before I forget, I didn't even write this down, but like Stephen King's It, is a cosmic horror.
It does have a cosmic horror part to it. I mean, the end with especially the turtle. And really, it seems like the movies never get the turtle right, obviously. But
yeah,
the movies never even address the turtle or the fact that Pennywise is this yin to the yang of this turtle that vomited up the universe, right? They never even approach it, and I can see why, right? Imagine trying to put that in a movie.
So wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You're telling me that according to Stephen King, we only exist because a turtle puked?
Right.
Yeah.
Never it.
Yes, Mark, I have.
Pretty much.
I was trying to make a joke, Mark.
It turtles all the way down, Jim. If you understand that reference.
So what happens? What happens if it comes out the other end?
Well, I don't know, but I could see Stephen King doing that.
That's where Round of Flag came from.
Out of a realm of possibility.
Then you get maximum overdrive.
Okay, Mark, sorry to derail the conversation.
Okay, but I think, again, like, as a story or as a movie or miniseries. You know, it's very much this entity trying to scare kids to like feed on their fear, and that's very kind of small. But the book really does have this. Oh, like I've conquered multiple worlds and whatever. So I think that kind of fits in there. Plus, he makes people go mad and kill themselves.
Right.
Or, yeah. So just something that's more recent, Annihilation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would think so.
Yeah.
The Alex Garland movie.
I know that one, but I haven't watched it.
The bear scene was fantastic.
Yeah, it's very disturbing, but the core concept is again something just very alien.
Yep.
Doing something, but it's expanding out.
Right.
And if you go into that area, you're basically screwed, right? Mm-hmm. And there's nothing in the movie that explains really what's going on.
No.
It's an alien thing that's happening, and we don't know if it's by chance, or we don't know if it was a purpose, or we don't know anything because we can't even understand it. So here's one, Jim, that you recommend.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
So, Edmund, what is your favorite cosmic horror movie?
Oh boy, I do get asked that way. I think, honestly, one of my favorites, which it had, I think it really it turned into cosmic horror, but I don't think it really started quite that way. Was what's it called, the Cabin in the Woods? Is that what it's called?
Yep.
One with the okay.
Yep.
That's that one. I think definitely. I really like. I know that's probably I would think out of every movie, everybody would probably look at me and say that's the one you picked. But
right.
But it's a cool movie. I mean, it really is. And it kind of like during the whole thing, you don't really get that feeling until things start to be revealed in the end of why the virgin and the one that didn't die and all that stuff. So
I will tell you that I hated that movie when I saw it in theaters until the moment Sigourney Weaver showed up and gave all that exposition.
So,
there you go.
So I think it's overtly a cosmic horror. I think, again, it is like that slow reveal where it used to be, is this a parody of like Evil Dead? You can talk about the Evil Dead. Cosmic horror, Necronomicon, H.P. Lovecraft, or whatever. But it's like a lot about those tropes, right?
Right.
So it's like making fun of those tropes. But then at the end, it's like, okay, this is like an elder god, which can get the right sacrifices.
Exactly.
So now it's going to come up and just kill everyone.
Right.
Which,
And all because the stoner smoked the wrong weed.
Exactly. That's what it was right there.
I kind of hate that ending now. Not the elder god thing. I hate their decision. I think it's fucking the most selfish decision.
Yeah.
What, do you think you'd be selfless, Mark?
Yeah, because you're going to die anyway.
So then why not take everybody with you? I honestly think that's the most realistic decision ever.
Because Jim, I don't have a cold, dead heart like you do.
That's true. It's true.
Puppies.
I'm sorry, what?
Think about the puppies that will die. You don't even worry about the people. Think about the people.
Yeah, that's true. I would feel differently if it was just for the animals.
Yeah. But one of the ones, Jim, you recommended was Await Further Instructions.
Yeah, what did you think about that one?
I liked it, except that they made, I think we talked about this, some of the characters too, like, not realistic enough.
Yeah,
but I
fair
think
enough.
the overall concept is a cosmic horror.
Yeah.
Where it's this entity that comes down, is controlling TVs to make people do things because it's like slowly overtaking everything. So, I don't know, Edmund, have you seen Await Further Instructions?
I think I have. I'm writing these down. I can't remember seeing that.
We always have a lot of recommendations for people.
We do, and usually Mark's suck, but that one I recommended, so it's actually pretty good.
It's all right. The next one, Jim probably hates because Kristen Stewart, but Underwater is absolutely a cosmic
garbage. It's absolutely garbage. The only good thing about that movie was when Well, I don't want to ruin it, but it's the ending.
The whole thing is great. It's like a throwback to.
It is not.
Like
Don't say it.
Leviathan,
No.
Deep Star 6, but
Nope.
with a cosmic horror edge to it.
Nope.
Well,
He's right. A lot of that is my disdain for Kristen Stewart. I really don't like her as an actress.
I've never seen her in anything else but this, but I thought she was great in it. So.
No. Excuse me?
What?
You've never seen her in anything else?
Nope.
You've never seen Charlie's Angels?
Nope.
Never.
Correct?
You've never seen The Messengers?
Nope. Jim, do you want to list off all her movies that I
What
haven't?
about Twilight?
Yeah.
I have not seen Twilight.
Snow White, A Tale of Terror.
I've not seen that with
Snow
Sigourney.
White and the Huntsman.
Not seen it.
That one.
So Jim, whenever, Jim,
Oh,
hey, Jim, can you put the other ear on your headphones on your ear?
No.
That both ears are listening to me like. I have not seen any other movie with Kristen Stewart in it other than Underwater. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
No, I don't. It's like you're trying to speak English to me, but I just can't get it.
Well, I know, because, that's a different episode. So Underwater, though, is, whether you like it or not, is cosmic horror to me.
It is cosmic horror. I will agree. It does take a turn, and it gets into cosmic horror. Yes, absolutely.
Another one, Jim, that you hate, which, Edmund, are we seeing a pattern?
Theme here?
No,
Are you seeing a pattern at all? The Void.
So I don't hate The Void. I just think it's boring.
Oh, yeah, I like that one. I know.
I don't hate it. It's just boring.
I know that.
It's not boring at all. That's the biggest, like what's boring about it, Jim?
I've only gotten through 30 minutes of it. Because I was bored.
You haven't finished it.
I have not, no.
But you hate it.
I didn't say I hated it. I said I was bored. Can you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, Mark?
Barely. Edmund,
Hopefully my
have you seen
changes all that. When it comes to the cosmic horror in my book, you won't be bored of that. You'll like that.
Right.
I wouldn't use Jim as your yardstick about movies, honestly. But Edmund, have you seen The Void?
I'm pretty sure I have. Okay, who plays in it again?
So this is the one where it's like at the start there's two people running out of this house, and they're like escaping from a cult, and they shoot and kill a woman, like a woman that was running out, and burn. And then the other guy kind of gets away, and there's a cop that finds him, brings him to this hospital that's getting shut down, and then it's like weird body horror, cosmic horror stuff.
So it stars Aaron Poole, Kenneth Welsh, Ellen Wong, Kathleen Moreau.
Okay.
Aaron Poole's the only person I recognize from them.
Yeah, I don't know any of these actors at all.
All right.
So The Void is a big recommendation. Don't listen to Jim.
Yeah, people really love it, Edmund. I just, for whatever reason, don't.
Not for whatever reason, Jim. Anyway. Okay.
What is the reason then, Mark? What is the reason?
Because you don't like movies, Jim.
That's true. You're not the first person to say that to me this week.
Oh, I am not shocked. So anyway, so whenever you think about Lovecraft, right, the two big Lovecraft movies of the 80s, like, I know we could go back to Vincent Price, etc., or whatever. But, like, if you ask, like, a general horror fan who knows a little bit about it, you're talking about Reanimator, which is not a cosmic horror movie, and From Beyond, which is absolutely a cosmic horror movie.
I've seen one of those two, Mark.
Right, you haven't seen From Beyond. See what I have to deal with, Edmund?
No, I've never seen Reanimator.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, From Beyond, thoughts?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want. Honestly, Animator. I've seen Reanimator.
So it's basically got a lot of the same cast. It's Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton.
Okay. Yeah,
and Ken Foray from Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
And this is very much a cosmic
Yep.
horror movie. It's about other dimensions and a resonator that I won't spoil anything. So.
I'm pulled that up here and I'm looking and it looks so familiar. Like I watched that when I was a teenager. I'm sure I did.
Maybe.
I still believe that Barbara Crampton is from another dimension. There's no way she ages that well.
Oh, I know. I think she's taken the reagent.
Yep.
I think the reagent is real, and she's probably 500 years old.
Yep.
Okay.
But
There's
she
a
looks,
possibility.
she's 65 now.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And she looked great in Suitable Flesh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, enough about Barbara
Would you
Crampton.
consider that a cosmic horror, Mark? Or is that body horror?
Suitable Flesh is based on Lovecraft.
Okay.
But it's almost not cosmic horror for me.
Yeah.
I don't think that, again, because although Lovecraft is best known for his cosmic stuff, he also wrote a bunch that aren't.
Right.
And I don't really feel that Suitable Flesh is a cosmic horror.
No, it's almost body horror.
Yeah, those two
Or
can.
possession, even.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've written before. It's an interesting thing I've written before. I wrote a story a while back called "A Pound of Flesh," and it was from a book called it was a 2017's best body horror book by Gehenna and Hinnom, which they're no longer around. But I wrote that story, and that actually, honestly, that was my first story I ever got paid pro rate for. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a story about a tattoo artist who falls in love with this girl who's she's kind of like an archaeology student, but she has some old texts, and you find out later they're texts from the Necromonicon, and he tattoos them on her leg, and then as doing that, he basically invites the creatures that are on the page onto her skin because of her blood. And they kind of wake up one day and they're pulling her and they suck her into a void.
Nice. That sounds like fun. I'm not gonna lie. This sounds like a fun story.
It was interesting, definitely.
It's very kind of Clive Barker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huge Clive Barker fan right here.
Yeah.
I met him.
Talk to you all day long about Clive.
See, I'm more of a fan of his fantasy than I am of his horror.
Oh, okay.
And I'm vice versa.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you. Vice versa. I like his horror better. I do. I mean, I like you. Probably like a Magica. And,
I loved it. Weave World. All of it. Yep.
No, I definitely more horror with him. But I do like his fantasy. I read Weave World and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So the next one that came to mind, talking about Clive Barker, because we could talk about Hellraiser as a cosmic horror, definitely. But one that's maybe a little bit more close to the science-y stuff. Jim, what am I going to say? One of your favorite movies, you rated it 7 out of 10.
I rated a movie 7 out of 10. Are you sure?
Yeah, and this was one of your favorite movies, like one of your top 10 movies of all time. And you rated it 7 out of 10, Edmund. I don't know if
that's not rated. How many? I'm blanking right now, Mark. Please refresh my memory.
In it, Lawrence Fishburne.
Are you talking about Event Horizon?
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
That's a good
So
one.
I didn't. You got pissed at me because I rated it a 7 out of 10.
No, I didn't get pissed at you because
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. How are you going to rate one of your top 10 movies a 7 out of 10?
Right. That was what I had an issue with. Not that you rated it 7 out of 10. That's fine. But in your top 10 movies of all time, you have one in there that's rated 7 out of 10.
Yep.
Just blows my mind. So, Edmund, again, if Jim rates any of your books, just keep all of this in mind.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah. So, yes, I do love Event Horizon. It's a fantastic film.
Great.
Just the CGI didn't, the special effects didn't hold up over time. That's all. That's the only reason it's a 7.
But that's okay. Sometimes that's just
how
we are, right?
Exactly. What did you think of Event Horizon, Edmund?
Oh, I loved it. Oh, it was very interesting, and the whole it was just weird and strange when they were out, and just the whole concept of being in space and the fear of it just really always gets to me, and
Yeah.
I just love that part of it. It just really drives me in. Anything like that, like aliens or anything, it really definitely gets me going. I love that kind of setup.
Speaking of Alien, I saw the trailer for Romulus in the theaters today.
It looks good.
I'm not going to lie, I'm excited. That's why I did the reaction video on TikTok.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been talking a lot about it, and they said it looks better than the last one. And
It does, because it looks like they took it back to its roots, where it's going to be a confined space and you're just fighting the monsters.
Well, it's not even back to, it is back to the roots, but Prometheus and Covenant aren't alien movies. I'm sorry, they aren't alien movies.
I agree with you. They're not really.
There's something else, and they threw some aliens in.
Yep.
But they're not alien movies.
Agreed.
I mean, Alien Resurrection is much more of an alien movie than either of those, and that was not a very good movie.
It was a great movie. Don't you talk ill of that movie.
Okay. So it took grounded things and then turned it cartoony. I don't like that.
You didn't have a problem with Jason X, though.
Jason was already a cartoon by that point.
Yeah. And then you didn't have a problem with Freddy versus Jason either.
Oh, I love it.
And it's garbage.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, sorry, Edmund.
Okay.
Sorry about my podcast bitch here. So one that is most definitely a cosmic horror, because, again, it's Lovecraft, and this is probably one of his most out there, like, crazy ideas, and it's Color Out of Space with Nicolas Cage.
I haven't seen it.
I don't think I've seen that one.
So, you know, the Color Out of Space. So, like, if you've seen Creepshow.
Oh, yeah.
You know the one with Stephen King, The Tale of Geordie, whatever his name is?
Yeah, he turns into...
Right, that's basically the Color Out of Space done very small.
Okay.
But this is like, the alien isn't an actual thing. It's like a color that like infects things and makes things. It's kind of like Annihilation. I think Annihilation is very much the Color Out of Space too.
Okay.
Oh, hey Mark.
Yes.
I have a cosmic horror that I just read that I loved. It's called The Horror by David Sodergren.
Okay.
It is about a woman who is walking down the beach and finds a creature on the shore, and she takes it home and nurses it back to health, and it turns out to be this this old being from the primordial soup, essentially.
I would probably do that too, though.
You would, but there's a lot more to the story, but I absolutely love that book, so you cannot say I don't like cosmic horror.
Well, you just don't like anything, Jim. So.
Well, that's true. I like that book, though.
Okay. Edmund, are you familiar with Lucio Fulci?
No.
Me either. So we'll sit over here in our corner.
Jim, you've seen Lucio Fulci.
I've seen one movie. Yep.
Yeah. So he's an Italian horror director, kind of schlocky.
He's not an Italian horror director. He's a smut director.
Oh.
Now, you've only seen one of his movies, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
But The Beyond is very much a cosmic horror.
Okay.
So if you look
If you
up
say so.
Beyond. So we have From Beyond and The Beyond.
Beyond, yeah, that's what I was thinking. From Beyond.
Now you have to get on board with 80s Italian horror movies as far as as far as like the acting and the performances and stuff. Sometimes they're a little rough.
What is it Suspiria? Is that what it was called?
Suspiria.
The Suspiria. Now that's an old Italian.
Yep.
That's kind of...
Yep.
Yeah, and it was just as bad as the New York Ripper.
Yeah.
Suspiria is great.
It is not.
We'll talk a little bit about that once we get to what we've watched.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay, so going to John Carpenter, my favorite director. of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Love that film.
It's very much a cosmic horror.
Absolutely.
It's like religiously kind of more religious, but the religion is almost like trying to understand this alien stuff that was happening, right? Because they're talking about like, well, Jesus wasn't a person. He was an alien, right? And things like that. And the quantum physics mixed with the religion and everything else, love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably the very first Carpenter film I think I ever watched as I was a kid then, but was The Thing, and John Carpenter's The Thing really turned me on to like sci-fi horror and cosmic horror, all that kind of stuff.
So you could say that Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy, Jim, all cosmic horror. So we have The Thing, we have Prince of Darkness, and we have In the Mouth of Madness.
That is not a trilogy of movies, Mark.
Yes, it is, Jim.
It's 3 movies by the same director. It's not a trilogy.
No, but they have a similar theme.
There is not a trilogy.
An apocalypse trilogy. Jim.
They are not a trilogy.
Okay. Are there Easter eggs in there someplace that are kind of
No, it's just because the director says they are. That's his rationale. The director says they're a trilogy, so they're a trilogy.
So each of those 3 movies are about the apocalypse, and they come from different ways, and they could be in the same universe.
Could be.
But I think
they could be in the same universe, yet the world has ended how many times now in that universe?
Well, tomorrow, Jim.
Well, yeah.
Tomorrow will be the first time.
I don't think John Carpenter wrote that movie though.
But In the Mouth of Madness is obviously the most cosmic of his movies. Like,
hey, Mark.
It's at the Mountains of Madness, right? So it's like a play on that.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Mark, let me ask you a question.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Are you a fan of Sutter Kane?
Do you read Sutter Kane, Jim?
No, I don't.
My favorite color is blue, if that tells you.
I might have seen the movie once or twice.
So here's a weird one. I just want to see if Jim, I think you've seen this one. Edmund, I don't know if you have. But I'm like, is this kind of cosmic horror? And it's Nope. The Jordan Peele.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen Nope. It's kind of science fiction, though, maybe.
So the way I see it, it's like, because I was thinking about it, I'm like, so we just have this creature, and there's no explanation about it, and it's going around sucking up and eating people. The same thing as like the Alien or the Thing or whatever, but there's no explanation for it, and it's just like a natural phenomenon.
Yeah, right behind the cloud.
Like it's not got that apocalyptic thing to it, but it's almost like there somewhere. I don't know.
Well, I guess I could see where it might not be, because they do have people that escape, and generally with like the cosmic horror angle, there is no escape from whatever.
It's destruction by the creature that comes and just takes over and starts.
Yeah, and then it's like, is the Thing that? Is Alien that? It's like, I think there's.
I don't think either one of those are cosmic horror at all. No.
So the aliens couldn't have an apocalyptic thing if they came to Earth.
Maybe.
I don't think that they would come to Earth, because they were not. We got in their way. They didn't come searching us out.
I can see that.
Jim.
I might have to just.
Okay. When I talked about the other week with you, Jim, which is a rewatch, one of my favorite sci-fi / horror movies, and my favorite Hammer horror movie, and that's Quatermass and the Pit.
Yes, we have talked about it. I still have not seen it.
Edmund?
Never. Quatermass and the Pit?
And the Pit, yep. It's a UK thing. It's not really.
No, I think it's also called like 10 Million Miles to Earth.
Okay.
Again, it's a UK thing, so you'll have to forgive Mark. He's from Northern Ireland, so.
Oh.
Oh yeah. So you'll have to forgive me, Edmund, for liking non-American movies. Such a sin.
I have friends from Northern Ireland, and you don't really sound Northern.
No, I know. I've been here for like 20 years, and I've lost my accent. It's weird.
You get him drunk, you can hear it.
Right.
Oh.
I will talk about Northern Ireland and what we've watched too.
Nice.
So another one that I thought could be, and it's kind of on that same Nope type thing, is Life with
No.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I would not consider that cosmic horror.
It's like a world-ending thing. It's kind of like The Thing.
Yeah, but if we hadn't gotten in its way, it wouldn't be here.
But it's not about getting in some things.
But it is essentially, because if you think about it, like cosmic horror, generally it's something that's in a deep slumber that just happens to awaken.
No. We are insignificant. We are just something that happens.
Yeah, I still don't think that life qualifies.
We're in the act, right? We're not getting in the way of the person standing on us. We're just there. It doesn't even see that we're acting.
I don't think that life qualifies, personally.
I'll tell you, how about Cloverfield? How do you feel about that?
That's world ending. Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
They came here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With a purpose.
You could almost say like a lot of the kaiju stuff, like Godzilla.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can absolutely see that. Yep.
Now what the one I always forget, but I watched it. But the one that follows up, it's connected to Cloverfield. I can't remember what it's called. It's kind of like a prequel to what happened.
Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, that might be it. That's the one with John Candy and
John Goodman.
John Goodman. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yep.
But the other one, there's a one where they're actually in space.
The Cloverfield Paradox.
That's it. That's the one thing. Cloverfield Paradox. Yeah. So but I thought those were, but if you think the Cloverfield Paradox, and it was like a time continuum thing, so that makes I can see that being for sure. That whole series.
So that was my off the top of my head list. Jim?
You're about as charming as a three-headed sloth.
Oh my!
That was a very bad analogy because that sounds super cute, Jim.
Yeah, right, doesn't it?
It's awesome. Spookella, they had a sloth there.
Oh yeah,
super cute.
Nice. Okay, so I just have a few extra movies to throw in here because Mark did mention most of them. One of my favorites that is probably flown under the radar for a lot of people is The Endless.
Oh, I wrote that down. Oh,
did you?
Yeah, I did. The Endless, and they have like the sequel to it too.
There's a sequel? I only know about the first one.
Well, it's in The Endless, whenever they come across that cabin with the guy, and the other guy, there's a movie about them too.
Oh, is there really? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So in The Endless, Edmund, it's essentially. Have you seen it?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, so it's about these two brothers that escape a UFO cult, right? A cult that worships this UFO that's supposed to come by or whatever, and they get an invitation to go back there as adults. So they do, and they get trapped in what appears to be a time loop.
Mm-hmm.
Where everything just keeps repeating over and over and over again, and they have to figure their way out of it. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be perfectly honest. And apparently one of the segments that they keep running across has its own movie.
Okay.
So I have to look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've given me some really good recommendations here.
that one especially is one that I really liked.
Okay.
What else do I have? I don't know that this is. I would consider this horror, but
sorry,
not horror.
Sorry, it's a prequel. It's 2012's Resolution.
Resolution. Okay, put that on the list.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one that is on this list, I always thought of it as just a ghost story. I didn't think of it as a cosmic horror, but Absentia.
I haven't seen it.
Um,
Edmund?
I haven't. It's on my radar to watch, but I
So I saw this by accident,
did.
and I did not realize it was a Mike Flanagan movie either.
Okay.
So it's essentially about this woman who her sister disappears and she goes to investigate. And she starts connecting it with a whole bunch of other disappearances all happening
I have
in
seen
this.
this. I take that back. I have seen this and I really liked it.
Yeah, it was a low key, solid film. Like it was really well done.
It's the one where they go into the like tunnel, right?
Yes.
Or they it's just like bridge under a bridge.
Did I miss something in it, Mark, that would make you think it was cosmic horror? Because I never got that about it.
I think it's like parallel dimension type thing.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I didn't miss something, and it's just not something I would have classified.
I mean, cosmic horror. If you, everybody's got their own idea about what it is. So
Right, they do. So I did not know there's the Color Out of Space from 2010, and then the one with Nicolas Cage from 2019. Did not know that.
There's the Call of Cthulhu.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Which is really good, which is done by like the H.P. Lovecraft Society.
Yep.
Made the movies, and this is done in like the 1920s style, where it's like a silent movie, and it's really good.
And then you have the Dunwich Horror.
Yep.
Which I haven't seen since probably the very early 80s.
So they have the Dunwich Horror with what do you call him from Quantum Leap?
Scott
No, the other guy, Al.
Oh yeah.
He was in Dune.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, I know you're talking. Maxwell, maybe, or
Damn it, that's going to bother me. Hang on.
I know.
I gotta look this up. I know who you're talking about, but I got to look this up because that's going to bother me.
No.
I keep wanting to say Sam Rockwell, but that's not him.
Yeah.
Quantum
Leap, Dean Stockwell.
Dean
Stockwell.
Yes.
And they also did the a retelling of that, but it was like the Vincent Price one.
Yep.
But they like named it after what was it, because they were doing all the Edgar Allan Poe ones, so they named it after an Edgar Allan Poe, but it was really that story. And it was what?
What?
I'm looking at Vincent Price, and it came up in your movies. I don't remember.
I don't know.
But it's pretty good though.
So the other one that I didn't hear you mention, Mark, was Dagon.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was a solid flick too. Which
Stuart Gordon.
Yep, I'm not really a big fan of the cosmic stuff, but that one I really liked also.
So that one is more Shadow over Innsmouth.
Mm-hmm.
Dagon, but they wanted to they didn't want to call it Shadow over Innsmouth.
Right.
They kind of blended some elements of both.
The other thing on my list that I actually haven't seen yet is Pandorum.
Love Pandorum. I don't.
Movie, but I haven't.
Right, go ahead, Edmund.
I said I know the movie, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I know it.
I've heard of it.
I don't know if I would call it cosmic horror, but it's really awesome, and it's not seen by enough people. I really highly recommend it.
I'll have to check it out.
Yep.
So that's it. That's all for my list, Mark. Do you want to talk about what you've watched?
Edmund, do you want to talk about any cosmic horror movies we haven't discussed, or stories or anything?
Go back, like you were talking about Hellraiser earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put that in that category. I actually would call that my favorite over Cabin in the Woods for sure. Because Hellraiser is like one of my favorite movies of all time. I loved it.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
So if you watch From Beyond, there are a lot of very similar threads to both.
Okay.
They're not overt, but if you look at it, it's got like a interdimensional thing coming into the real world. You have like S&M stuff. You have there's just a lot of overlap in them. So just watch From Beyond and compare it to Hellraiser, and you'll be like, oh, okay, these are pretty close.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it would. The actually the second Hellraiser, which I would not recommend. That movie was horrible. But it was Hellraiser 2, which that was more cosmic horror, probably.
Yeah, that absolutely.
Edmund, I'm sorry, but part 2 is the best in that series.
Oh no.
Well, I think the new Hellraiser 2, the one that just came out on Hulu, would probably classify as cosmic horror too.
Well, all of them. I mean, really.
I don't think so.
So Jim,
I would not have called the first one cosmic horror. To me, it was more body horror and supernatural. But when you get it, when they expanded the mythos, like in the second movie, then it definitely gets into that realm.
Okay,
we're talking about beings from another dimension.
That's the hell, right?
So that's kind of the cosmic part of it, right? And again, it's a very gray area.
Yeah,
There's
it
no
is.
apocalyptic part to Hellraiser, but it's very much the things coming here beyond our knowledge doing things to us.
But that's the thing, though, right? In the thing with Hellraiser is, at least the first one anyway, it was more about you had to summon them specifically, and they didn't go after everybody. They just went after you.
Jim, you seem very fixated about how we come across these things.
Yes, I am.
But I don't think that that's the benchmark for
it. Is for me.
Well, yeah, I know, but you're wrong 99% of the time.
But I will say that the sense of impending doom for all of humanity really started to hit in the second film.
Yeah, I can see that.
More actually in the third film, if you think about it.
The third film was garbage.
No, but you're Jim. Can you put your other ear on? So
no.
The third.
Okay, I still have the other one on.
The third one is, whether you like it or not, more about them coming to Earth and dominating the planet, whether you like the movie or not.
I know,
if you say so.
When I took my wife to watch that way, I think we were married at the time. We were married or girlfriend, I'm not sure. But I took her to watch the movie, and she got up halfway through the middle and said, "I'm not watching this. This is horrible." Walked away. And then I said, "Well, but I want to watch the movie." And she went up to the lobby, and I watched a little more, and I said, "Yeah, she's right. I'm out."
The ups and downs of Hellraiser 3 is that it's like Hellraiser gone Hollywood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which to me doesn't really work. The upside is there's so much more Doug Bradley in it, and Doug Bradley is awesome in it.
Yeah, he is.
So it's like this love-hate thing for me. Like part 3, I don't really ever want to watch it ever again. Like I've seen it a number of times, but it just feels too slick. It feels too Hollywood. It feels too like even like the Cenobites that they make, that like, oh, time for your close-up, Joey. Okay, I've got a camera in my hand. Like, fuck off. Like, and I love Peter Atkins, who wrote it, or wrote some of it with Clive Barker, but it just seemed too slick, just to like they were trying to make him be the next Freddy Krueger.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. I think kind of that's what happened to Pinhead anyway. They were trying to make him more like that, you know. He was becoming a horror icon as opposed to as to what he was originally in the Hellraiser series.
It's the weirdest thing, because in both the first and second, Pinhead really isn't in it too much, or the Cenobites aren't in it too much.
That's true.
3 then's like, okay, well, now we've got this horror icon like Freddy Krueger. Let's give him all this time on screen. Okay, that didn't work. Then part 4 was just a mess, but it was an interesting mess. Unfortunately, it's Alan Smithy movie, because Belcher, he took his name off it. But it's a good idea, just kind of not really there. And then after that, you get all these ones which were non-Hellraiser scripts, where they just shoved Pinhead in, and it's just like, and then they made him like this sort of moral guardian. Oh, I'm torturing you because you cheated on your wife or whatever. I'm like,
that's the thing. Like in 6, it seemed that way until the end.
Huh?
It in like Hellseeker, it seemed that way, that he was being the moral judge, until you found at the end that it was actually the character of Kirsty that was giving him these people.
Don't talk about that movie. That's the worst, almost the worst one in the series.
Oh, Peyton, it is not. It was a great reimagining, and to see her come back was great.
Now, what they did with her character is unforgivable.
Disagree completely. I thought it was a great evolution.
Well, again, 99%. Anyway, Edmund.
What did you think, Edmund?
Hellseeker. No, that's the one where the guys went down to Mexico and all that. Is that right?
No.
This is the one where it's about a cop in New York, and he's investigating murders.
Okay. And it's the guy
from Oz and CSI, or not CSI, SVU, Law and Order.
Like Chaos. What's the insurance advert that he's in all the time?
State Farm.
Right? Yeah.
No, is it?
Dean Winter. Dean Winter is his name.
Yeah, but it's not State Farm. It's well, I know what you're talking about.
Allstate. I don't know, but
maybe.
Either.
Yeah, it's one of them.
But essentially, there's spoilers because the movie's 15 years old, but it turns out that he was Kirsty's ex, and he cheated on her. So she was giving Pinhead him and the woman he cheated with.
Oh, okay.
No,
in exchange for being safe.
He was going to kill her.
Oh yeah, whatever. She was giving him and the women he was cheating on her with to Pinhead to save her soul again.
Oh, okay.
Like she was using them as a tool for vengeance, and I thought it was great.
Okay. Kind of sort of like he did in the original. So yeah.
I kind of feel for all of the like major horror franchises out there, the Nightmare on Elm Streets and the Friday the 13th, et cetera, et cetera. Hellraiser had the one with so much more promise that they just fucked up so badly. It doesn't mean like there's no good movies in it, but some of them aren't. They're a good movie, but they just have Pinhead like shoehorned in. Like Part 5, I think Inferno is really good. But like if you read the comics or any of the other stuff that came out around Hellraiser, there's such a big universe there for that concept, and they fucked it up in the movies.
Yep.
Have any of you read the Scarlet Gospels?
Yep.
That was a good book. I love that book.
I did not like that book.
You didn't like he wrapped it all up.
So I liked the first like few chapters, but I know it's Clyde Barker, but I like my Cenobites to be amoral, and I don't like them to be tied to Christianity or religion or any of that stuff. I like them just to be these interdimensional, amoral arbiters of and that's what they do. I don't like them judging. I don't like Satan in it, and I don't like I don't like the Christianity like injected into it, which was never in the original story, right? I mean, I just think that kind of muddies the water. I like that they have Harry D'Amour in it.
Part of the whole thing,
but I think it's almost like the Clive Barker was trying to do some sort of Lord of the Rings style thing through hell, like Christian hell, and I don't know, it just didn't work for me. And it felt like fan fiction that wasn't very good. Okay. But that's just my opinion. Jim is a hater.
So, Edmund, we normally do a segment towards the end of the episode where we talk about things that we've watched or read, whether it's horror related or not.
Okay.
And since you are our guest, despite what Mark says, we're going to do the polite thing and offer you to go first.
Okay.
So give us a little peek into what you've watched or read recently that you really liked or you really didn't like.
Okay. Trying to think. I've been reading a lot of. I've been reading mostly indie horror. Something I'm reading. A couple of books I've read. Gage Greenwood's book, Bunker Dogs.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Takes a twist on the whole vampire lore thing, but it's very interesting the way he does it. I really like that one. I'm not done with this one yet, so I don't want to get into it too. But Duncan Ralston's Puzzle House, man, and I can see why he got 1,000 votes and got into that thing because it was so good. You don't like it?
So
I haven't got. I'm only 2/3.
I'm not going to ruin it for you, but let me say this: the first Duncan book that I read was Skin Flicks, and that was just not my thing, right? And then I read Puzzle House, and not going to lie, I was a bit underwhelmed.
Okay. Were you a Womb fan?
I have not read it. Those are my only 2 exposures to Duncan Ralston so far.
Oh, you got to read.
I'll give him other shots, but so far.
Well, with what you said about the other book, Skin Flicks, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you said you liked it or didn't?
No. I couldn't finish that. That's just too extreme for me.
Okay, well, Womb is I don't know. People call it extreme, but I think he calls it more of a transgressive type horror, which I would agree with that.
Okay.
It is different. It's not. It's very graphic in its sexual detail, but it's also not really like bloody like you would expect. So,
right.
Not like Gross Out or one of those he did. Not as and Ghostland. Ghostland was pretty.
I keep hearing some great things about Ghostland, which is probably what I should have started with. So I'll probably hit that next.
That's the one I started with, so I liked it. I liked it a lot. But I did. But everybody, kept telling me you got to read Womb. That's your experience. You got to read Womb. So I read it, and I was like, wow. But that was it.
Yeah.
It's definitely different. It's different. Yeah. It's definitely different, but I like it.
I will say the Puzzle House story was solid. Like I don't have any complaints about the story. I was expecting more.
Okay. That's one I'll be into soon, but it's very popular. So
yeah, it is.
But that's reading wise. Now another author I've been reading, a couple of them actually, and one now this is a good cosmic horror book. Tyler Jones, Heavy Oceans.
Have not read that one yet.
That is really good.
I do like Tyler Jones. I have not gotten into that one yet.
that one definitely deals with cosmic horror. It's so good the way just you got to read that one. Highly recommend that one.
Okay.
And I've read a few of his, but that one was really good. Philip Percassi, I've been reading some of his stuff. Gothic was really good. I read that one a few months ago, and Boys in the Valley, another really good one. But
I keep hearing good things.
Yeah, and it's more like demon possession kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but it also has like a historical piece to it too. So it's a really good book.
Nice.
I met him not that long ago at a signing. He's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Really, we really got into the talk, back and forth with books and things like that. It was great.
Nice.
I'm trying to think like movies I've been watching lately. Really, I think I got more into series. Kind of like the Fall House of Usher. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Watching that one. Trying to think of. I know a movie I watched, and it's an older movie, but it has Nicolas Cage in it. It's the. Gosh, what is it? It has the girl Mandy. Is that what it's called? Or
yep.
That's it. Yeah. Really liked that movie. I mean, I was surprised when I got into it. I thought, I don't know if I'm going to care for this one, but man, the more I watched, it was really good. Very extreme, very good. So,
it's a very art house movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so with art house movies, I either kind of buy into them or don't. Mandy, unfortunately, I didn't. But I did like Cage's performance in it because he just goes totally 100% Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and also Renfield. Did you watch Renfield?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
I loved it.
like that one. That was awesome. And the coolest thing was when they got into the big fight in the bar scene
Yeah.
in New. I was sitting there, my wife and I were watching it, and we were like, "Oh, wait a minute, this looks familiar. Hey, wait, we've been there. We've been in every restaurant. I know where that is. We were there the last time we were in New Orleans. We went to that restaurant.
Nice.
And I actually have a Cage movie in what I've watched too for the first time.
Oh boy.
Look at all these coincidences.
I know, connecting.
It is.
Cage is good in the horror movies. I mean,
He really shines when they let him be Nicolas Cage.
Yes. Oh, and I forgot the other one, his most recent, and it would the A24 movie.
The Dream one.
Yeah, Dreamscapes. That's what it's called.
Right? Is that any good? That looks. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. It was, I mean, obviously it's weird, but it was A24, but it was different. And then at first you don't think it's going to be a horror film, you know, but it starts taking that dark twist like halfway through, and then it really becomes a good one. And no, I really enjoyed that one.
Because the trailer didn't make it seem like it was a horror movie at all.
Right.
I'm more interested in it now.
But those are the ones I watched recently, and I try to find stuff that's a little odd or off. You know, you never know what might be something out there that'd be interesting. Like a lot of supernatural kind of stuff too, and paranormal.
Yeah. Mark?
Sorry, I think I just got disconnected for a second.
Oh.
Okay, talking about weird things that we've watched.
Yes, sir.
Edmund, I'm glad you're sitting down. I've watched some weird stuff. So just kind of the more normal stuff to begin with. I watched the next episode of X-Men 97, the animated series. It continues to be very good and very kind of nostalgic.
I heard episode 4 was a bit of filler.
No more so than the original series.
Right.
They always had these sort of episodes too.
Yeah.
So.
And that's exactly what they said. You know, this has always been a thing for X-Men, but this was filler.
So I kind of I totally agree with filler, because filler sounds like you have to always, think about like the X-Files, right?
Right.
It's story arcs, but they had like individual episodes too. And you can say, well, individual episode, the monster of the week. Oh, that's just filler because we're trying to follow this arc. But that's not how it's set up, right? It's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be like this thing going on in the background, which is an arc going from here to here. But we're going to segment it with monster of the week stuff.
Right.
So, if you like, whatever. And also they released the last episodes of season 2, I think, of Invincible.
Oh, right. I have to catch up on that because I haven't seen it yet.
I do too. I've watched the first season, but I haven't watched anything after that. But I do need to catch up on that one.
And it's taken me a while to get into this series.
Mm-hmm.
I think the tempo of it has gone up and down. I'm not even going to say filler, because I think they're trying to build characters and whatever, and it's obviously Robert Kirkman. But yeah, these last number of episodes have been excellent. They kind of run that line between some kind of like caricatures of characters and like down to earth sort of thing too. It's kind of like The Boys. Like I kind of see them as almost equal. Boys is way more crazy. But that sort of we're kind of not making fun, but we're kind of like prodding superhero tropes, and we're adding our own things into it. So definitely good. I watched 1986's Dream Maniac. Jim? Jim,
Nope.
it's one of your favorites.
No, it's not.
David DeCocteau directed Dream Maniac.
I don't know Dream Maniac.
If you look it up, you may have seen the VHS cover growing up.
Let me look this up.
Dream Maniac.
Oops.
And it's one word.
Is it animated?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
So it's DREAM NI.
Dream Maniac. Thomas Byrne and Ashley Gear. Ashlyn Gear.
So it's about a
Oh, that's the guy from Ice Cream Man, isn't it?
That's what I thought. Who I've met. Oh, fuck. And it's, what's his name? I always saw this, like, in the video store when I was growing up.
Right.
And I always thought it was, what's his name? Oh, my God. I even met him, too. That's bad.
Yeah, I don't know this one.
Cast. Clint Howard.
Clint Howard, yep.
Look like Clint Howard?
What?
Doesn't it look like Clint Howard?
It does. That's exactly who I thought it was.
That's what I thought it was, too. So I thought it was going to be like Ice Cream Man or Ticks or something that he was in.
Right.
And this is not. This is a very, very low budget set in one house where apparently there's a guy who's into metal, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Not rock, yacht rock, but metal. And he summons up a succubus. You know what a succubus is?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Right. So incubus and succubus.
Yes.
But it's all set in this one house.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a party going on at this house. And this succubus arrives and starts killing people.
You know there's a reason that you never have these issues with people that listen to yacht rock, right?
Yeah, they just get drowned. But it's all set in one house. The acting is atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
The pacing is terrible. It's boring for long, long parts of it. And you're always going like, you're in your own house, just walk out the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Run away. But nobody can seem to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do not watch Dream Maniac. Even though it looks like Clint Howard on the cover, it's supposed to be a woman, Jim.
I see that with the nails, yeah.
Yeah, but
I will be honest with you, Mark.
They did her.
Had you never mentioned this movie, I never would have known it existed. So it's all your fault if I do see it now.
Well, I mean, not that I'll bring up. So this is like Charles Band, Full Moon Studios. So David DeCocteau had come from kind of like a porn director. That's what he kind of did, and I think he did mainly gay porn. And in this movie,
I've probably seen some of his films.
Right.
Anyway,
you're probably a big fan. But in this movie, so there's a number of sequences where it's like guys with their butts out, right? And there's less female nudity. And I guess somebody from like Charles Band's company called him up and said, "Hey, are you gay?" I guess the guys were just more okay with it than the women. So, okay, good for them. Anyway, so I watched the Sydney Sweeney vehicle, Immaculate, in the movie.
Interesting.
So, Jim, you're going to hate this description because I know you hate these movies. So it starts off kind of like Suspiria.
Okay.
And then it ends up like Rosemary's Baby.
Okay.
But don't take those prior things into it if you want to watch it, right? Those are just like thematic elements, which I saw. This was really good. It was like a middle finger to the Catholic Church. And it's kind of like a reverse Rosemary's Baby. Sydney Sweeney was actually really good. I haven't seen her in anything else.
Well, you know why, right? She auditioned for this movie when she was 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And once she got money under her and a little bit of street cred, she went back to the producers and said, "I want to make this movie. We need to update it."
Right. And this definitely recommend. It's not without its problems.
Right.
But I mean, I give it probably like 7 or 8 out of 10. I think it's worth watching.
You're quite liberal with your ratings, so I'm not going to take that into account.
Of course, top 10, 7 out of 10. Okay, so moving on to Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
I had not seen this movie before, and I thought it was something.
Is it Pig?
No, it's Mom and Dad.
Mom and Dad. I love that movie.
So, this is where you have like misconceptions about things, just because you have misconceptions about it. Mm-hmm. I thought it was about him and Selma Blair going kind of crazy in one house for the whole movie.
No.
Like a Home Alone type thing where they're chasing the kids around.
Yeah.
I also had the similar misconception about the movie Clown. As far as I thought it was going to be one thing, but it turned out to be very different.
Right.
And this is a very, very dark movie.
It is?
Especially for the 2/3 that isn't just in the house with Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair trying to get
right.
There's a scene with Selma Blair's sister is giving birth in the hospital, and something's happened where it's the parents have decided rather than look after our kids, we should kill our kids. Right? That's the premise. It's never really explained why. They say, well, it might be some sort of gas or whatever.
Yeah.
It might be something the Russians did or whatever. Which kind of makes sense.
Interesting conversation, but I am going to have to bail here in about 5 minutes. Sorry.
Okay. That's fair.
How dare you leave the conversation?
Well, Mark, it's your company, really. He just wants to be polite.
But Mom and Dad, I thought was excellent.
Yep, I agree.
Jim, what have you watched? I'll save the other ones for.
So Ray and I actually went and saw the first Omen today.
Oh, I heard. So the trailer looked crap to me, but apparently it's very good reviews.
So I've never been a really big Omen fan, to be perfectly honest. Like I'm not really into the franchise at all. It just never did it for me. But this was a solid story. There's Mark, you're going to hate it because of all the fan service it pays to the original trilogy. It recreates a lot of the iconic shots from the original film for no other reason than to pay homage to it. I will say that the story is pretty easy to figure out. There's not really a mystery behind it, and there's one scene that was a bit of a shock that I was not expecting. There's a full-on birth scene, and it was just didn't expect that. But it was solid. It was the story was good. The acting was good. The cinematography was beautiful. It was just okay. I probably would have been better waiting for streaming, but it was okay.
So it's excellent then, Jim, for most people.
For most people, probably. It does give the middle finger to the Catholic Church. It does not show them in a great light.
Yeah.
I also watched the new film Baghead on Shudder. That was really well done. I appreciated it. It's along the same vein as Talk to Me, but instead of grabbing a dead person's hand, they have to feed a personal item to a witch, and then she can bring somebody back from the dead for 2 minutes, and then she takes control if you make them stay any longer. This had a nice little twist in it. I really enjoyed it.
We're talking about Shudder films. Have you seen Incident in a Ghostland?
I have not yet.
That is a good one.
So Edmund, Incident in a Ghostland is the same director of my favorite horror movie.
What's that?
Martyrs.
Martyrs. It's Pascal Louis-J. I probably butchered his name. Have you seen Martyrs?
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
It's a fantastic French film.
So look it up. It's like 2008. Don't look up the American remake. And don't look into the plot of it. Go into it blind.
Go into it totally blind. It makes for a much better experience. I can attest to that.
Okay.
Even Jim loved it because I made him watch it.
Yes, he did. He forced me to watch it for this podcast, and I loved it. I did.
I have to check it out. But I really loved I did love the direction of that movie
Mm-hmm.
in the Ghostland. So I'm definitely, I'm sure I would like it.
Incident at the Ghostland to me is like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Martyrs is again my favorite horror movie, so 10 out of 10 easy every day, all day.
So my last movie that I was going to talk about is called Deep Murder.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be a parody, but every piece of it falls flat. So it's about this serial killer on the set of a softcore porn flick for a network called Cinerax.
Skinamax?
No, it's Cinerax.
No.
Cinerax. We have to protect the copyright. And it stars Jerry O'Connell, and essentially there's somebody going around killing everybody in this softcore porn. It tries way too hard to be a horror comedy. It's really just garbage. It was not enjoyable at all. I did sit through the whole thing. I don't know why, but I did.
So it's worth checking out then.
No, it's not at all. No, there's nothing redeeming in that film at all.
All right. Well, Edmund.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. Do you want to do any last plugs before you have to leave?
Just that I will be at AuthorCon coming up Williamsburg, Virginia. That's coming up this week. It's I think the 12th. Is that right? The 12th through the 14th.
Nice.
Let me check. Let me double check, but I'm sure that's right. But yeah, I'll be there. So if any of your people that are watching this know about AuthorCon or around that area, yeah, it's the the 12th through the 14th, and I'll be there signing books and stuff. There'll be it's big. AuthorCon is just wild, but I love it. It's one of my favorites. I'll be there. I'll be in the Books and Brews in Evanston, Illinois, near Chicago. That's August 3rd. And then I'll also be at the Tennessee Book Review in September, TBRCon they call it. But I'm not sure the exact dates of that one. But I'll be at all those places coming up and signing.
Awesome.
And keep up with the brawl. I mean, if you're a Books of Horror fan over there, sign up, check it out. There's going to be some crazy stuff going on.
Yeah.
There's already talk of it. It's already coming.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, because we know you and Mike Salt are both in the 32, so it's coming. And Gage Greenwood, because I think I never saw his videos, but I hear he got involved also.
He did. He's laying some stuff down. It's going to be fun. But Mike Salt. I don't know if you know Ben Young, the guy that wrote stuff in the 30. He's in the top 32. Yep. But anyway, he's been involved in it too. There's been of us. M.L. Rayner. One of the Echoes Poem. I think he's in the brawl too, and he did a great video. I mean, it was funny. It was just like really, British comedy, fuck you kind of stuff. It was great though. It was
great. That's awesome. I will keep up with that for sure.
Absolutely. And one more thing I want to mention. Speaking of Mike Salt, Ben Young, another author named Lee Kinney, and myself, and we're doing a we're getting a collaboration going. We're going to do like a book with like more or less four novellas or longer or novelettes, that kind of thing. But it's the title of it is Hurt People, Hurt People. So it's like people who get hurt others. But it's a connection. They're all connected. The main character, the very first one starts the whole narrative off, and then it's like the batons passed to another. And then another, and then another. So you get all four different authors and their perspectives of the story, but all kind of a common theme.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good one. We hope to have that done by sometime in the summer, so we'll see how it all goes.
Oh, I'll keep my eye out for that one for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's about it.
Well, thank you, Edmund. I appreciate you coming on to talk to us today. This has been a lot of fun.
Okay, I appreciate it, and I've got a really good list of movies I got to go through now.
And we'll be quizzing you later. Don't worry.
Okay.
Your homework now.
Yeah, exactly. We always send people out with homework.
Sounds good.
So, thank you very much. We appreciate your time today, Edmund.